joy comes in the morning light. So I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there is got to be another way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pure Life. We are back for another great and awesome episode. Today is going to be a little lighter than it has been. I have with me a health coach. Her name is Marina Lucero, and she's actually a friend of the family. We've known each other for a very long time. I'm so excited to talk to her about her story and how far she's gotten. Is amazing. So welcome everybody, and I'm going to bring her on just so you guys know. This is her social media handles. If you guys want to write those down, I will bring them forward later on in the show, but for now I'm going to introduce you to Miss Marina Lucero. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for that beautiful introduction. I am so excited to be here with you tonight. Thank you so much. What an honor. It's so dope that you have a platform like this, and I'm just really honored to be able to share. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As Asia said, my name is Marina Lucero. I am from Denver, Colorado. I am a mother of 7 beautiful children and a grandmother of 8. I'm really, really super excited to be able to share tonight. My journey started 5 years ago, and it really started, some people start out of inspiration, so somebody inspires them, or some people are out of desperation. And for me at the time, it was desperation. I was really desperate to find something new. I was 289 pounds at my heaviest. I was very, I felt bad every day when I woke up, and I felt like I needed a nap by 11. I was drinking 6 Dr. Peppers a day. I was the one hiding in the back in pictures. And I just really wasn't happy with what I saw in the mirror. And I had went to a small gathering for our family, and we were hanging out, and I had a couple of drinks, and I woke up the next day and don't remember anything, and I ended up in a coma, diabetic coma, for 3 days. So I had a lot of health problems, and I was 41 years old, and I remember waking up and saying that something's got to change. Something has got to be different. Like, I cannot be 41 years old and living like this, and we all like to get together with family, and you should not have to live in a sense where you're not sure what's going to happen. And and that was my desperation point. And I know, some people can relate to being desperate. Like, I'm desperate to find something. And I tried a lot of things throughout my journey. Before I tried, doctor prescribed medication, and which is temporary, and it doesn't teach you how to eat and how to live active and healthy. It's a Band-Aid. I tried a lot of over-the-counter stuff that you can buy and, get the can and open it. And all that was temporary. And, and really it was a mindset, because I knew it was temporary. When I started a diet. Oh, today I'm starting a diet. Let's go, gung ho. And it lasts 3, maybe 7 days, and you're like, yeah, in the momentum. And then you just give up. And that is something that I just didn't want to fail anymore. And I think a lot of people are afraid to try because you fail, and you feel like you already come in with a mindset that this is not going to work for me. reality, right?
Right.
You know, like this,
Just another day.
yeah, absolutely. And that's really common. And that's where I was. That was my mindset when I started this journey, is that this is just another fad that's going to fail me. And, you know, and they say that getting your body right is not the hard part. It's getting your mind right. And it all goes back to that, because how you think about things is how they come to reality. And so, you know, when I started my program, I did a 30-day plan, and I said, okay, I'm going to give this my all for 30 days. Because that was one of the things, and I still hold this true to my clients, is saying, give me your all for 30 days. And let's see how you feel. Let's see how this goes. And so I made the decision. I said, okay, 30 days. I was down 16 pounds in 30 days. And I was really excited. I was feeling better. I was strutting into work like, hey, a girl, you see me, you know, because along with that comes confidence, right? Yeah, you're like,
Yeah,
absolutely. See
absolutely.
these pants? You know, and it's a reality, because when you start to feel good, it shows on the outside too. And
Yeah.
I was feeling myself, and I said, you know, and one of the big things about this community, that we inspire each other, and it's more about, you know, pushing and saying, hey, I know you can do this, and I know you got this. And that's something that my coach did for me, and that's something I instill in my clients, because a lot of time it's self-belief, and we don't believe that it's possible for us. And we can follow 100 people on social media and watch them while we eat chips. Like, for real though, you could look at their pictures like, dang, she looks good, and you're eating chips, you know? I mean, you need some real like inspiration. It's so easy to do. Or you're like, I'm gonna start this health plan, but I'm gonna go around in the grocery store. I'm gonna wait for the closest parking to the door. You know, and we all do that when we can just take the little bit extra, you know, and walk those few extra steps, because everything counts. So I started, and I was feeling good. And you know, those first 16 pounds was definitely amazing for me. I went on 90 days later, after, for when I was in the hospital, you have to go back for any, you know, diabetics or whatever, and they check your AAA1C, and it goes back 90 days of what your sugar levels have been for the last 90 days. And then that's kind of how they gauge, you know, how much more medication you're going to have and not have, and if they're going to take. And I walked into the doctor's office after 90 days, down 42 pounds. And I knew that my numbers were going to be better. And I knew, because I had already lost some weight. I was feeling good, you know, and I was really excited. And so I knew my numbers were going to be good. It took a couple of days. And when I got the call, usually it's like a frantic, you know, when the doctor calls you and you're waiting for those results, and you're like, you know, shaking in your shoes, and you're just unsure. And that was me. And I was so nervous. And she said, you know, can you hear me? And I'm on the train coming back from work, because I commute. And I said, yeah. And she said, I'm taking you off of all your medications. And at that moment, and I get really emotional, because at that moment is when my life changed. And, you know, I feel like that is when I said, I will never look back, because that was life changing for me. And the way I felt at that moment is like, there's no, you know, I'm only looking back to look at my glutes. Like, I'm looking at those glutes in the mirror, girl. I ain't looking at nothing else, because I was so emotionally, you know, I just couldn't believe that that was happening. And I said, I can do this, you know, and if I can do this, I can help other people do this. And throughout my journey, you know, and for real. And throughout my journey, I have had some obstacles, because, girl, it is not all sunshine and rainbows. You do not just get up and jog 7 miles. You know, it doesn't work like that. It's those mom. Yeah. And you know, I mean, you have kids. So those mom moments where you're like, do I even have time? Do I have time?
Right.
You know? And a lot of parents struggle. Like, do I have time to, you know, I have a career, I have children, I have, you know, but those are excuses that we give ourselves. And those are the reasons that we need to do. When you change
So let me ask you a
yeah,
question. So one of the speaking of the whole family dynamic, one of the things that made it difficult for me to, I guess, keep that switch on and wanting to be on the healthy streak of losing weight is the difference in our diets
yeah,
in regards to the rest of the household. And I'm thinking to myself, well, it'll just, I mean, is it worth the money to split it up, or how am I going to balance this? And then eventually I'm like, well, tonight, what are we having for dinner? And so I slowly kind of regress back to regular stuff.
hmm
So with what you were doing, although I realize you're saying that it was necessary for your life for you to change over, did you have those kind of challenges in regards to changing, your household over? Did you change your household over? Was it just you? How did you balance that?
yeah, that's a great question. And and that is probably one of the biggest things that we struggle with, and that I see that we struggle with daily. But it is small, because small changes, because our kids will only do what we do, not what we say. And so for me, it was changing small things, like instead of using ground beef, we used turkey. So if we were having spaghetti, we had turkey spaghetti. I just made me some zucchini noodles on the side, and I just used the sauce. But they don't know that it's sugar-free sauce. I mean, that's what I use, is the sugar-free sauce. They don't know that it's the turkey meat. They don't know. And so it would just be the same meal. I would just change mine up a little bit. If it's Taco Tuesday, I mean, who don't love Taco Tuesday? I'm making
I know I
tacos
do.
for real. And and I'm making tacos, and I will use ground turkey or ground chicken, and for theirs the same. I season them the same. They get flour tortillas, and I use lettuce bowls. It's, you can still incorporate it. It's just the little things. And that's some of the things that with coaching and things that you can look up, there's recipes that you just don't have to have a salad. And that is one of the hugest misconceptions, that you don't have to eat a salad
Mhm.
every day, or you don't have to, little things like we use the Fage 0% yogurt as sour cream. The kids don't even know. They have no clue, but it tastes the same.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Huh.
unflavored yogurt, unsweetened yogurt, and we use it for sour cream, and the whole family uses it, not just me, but they have no clue. But I think the biggest thing is that our kids are going to follow our lead, like I said, because our kids are going to do what we do, not what we say. And so it's
Yeah.
possible to find those different recipes. And when you think about the cost, you can see in the stores that sometimes, the healthier stuff is a little more expensive. But that's your body,
Right.
and that's your kid's body that you're feeding every day. And how can you put a price on that? You know, and you can find cheaper meals, like geez, cowboy chili, or stuffed bell peppers, or and just change it up just a little
Ooh, I
bit
like that.
for just little
Mhm.
small things, and taking out the hamburger, and maybe the kids maybe aren't real big fish kids, and you can dress it up, make it fun, make the plates fun. Things like that
Okay.
will help change their mind and help change your mind. But our mindset is that this is expensive. But in reality, especially with what's going on right now, have you priced the price of beef? Like it's like three
Yes.
times as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's getting pretty ridiculous.
it is. And
Um.
making healthy choices at fast food restaurants as well.
So, um, this question is a good question to me. How do you eat out at restaurants when you're on this diet, life change? What do you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, small changes. So let's just say, for instance, Wendy's. Let's just pick Wendy's. I don't know. Do you guys have Wendy's over there? Wendy's is pretty
Yeah,
popular. But okay, so
everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
at Wendy's, I go with the chili. I go with the chili instead of a hamburger. I don't do the fries.
Okay.
You can do the chili and a side salad. They even make like half a taco salad. Like, making those small choices. If you're going to go to a sit down restaurant, and you're just going to skip the bread instead of having, like Olive Garden. You know, those are some tough choices you're going to make. But if it's a lifestyle, you can fit those into your lifestyle because you've made these choices over and over again throughout the week. And it's not so much I don't like cheat days. I don't agree with that because it's a lifestyle and you shouldn't feel like you have to wait for a day to cheat. But you should say, you know what, I've been so good that I know we're going to have a family dinner. We're all meeting at a restaurant and I'm going to save my day for those calories, you know, and I'm going to enjoy it. And when I say enjoy it, I'm not saying order 2 plates or have double the pasta. I'm saying, you know, you still have to, it's about portion control and it's about changing your mindset to say, this isn't a reward. This is just something that I can do because I live the lifestyle to be able to fit that in.
So speaking of the whole lifestyle change, how long did it take you to adjust to your lifetime change?
It took a while. It was about consistency. And, one of the things that I have written down to go over is your why. And it probably took me about a good year, a solid year to say, like, this is what I'm going to do and I'm sticking to it. I think that that once you become a part, it becomes a part. There's no thinking twice anymore, and you don't second guess yourself, and you don't. And so I would say solidly, probably about a year. But it doesn't mean that I don't have cake because I do have cake when I want cake. I do. I just don't have it every day, and I don't have 2 slices. And if I'm going to a birthday party, I'm going to have a little bit of cake. It's a lifestyle.
Okay. In the chat, we said, how often can I eat my tacos for real?
You can have your tacos for real. Anytime you want them, if you're on a regimen,
Okay, what does that mean?
Like I said, it's like if you've already decided that you're going to start something, and you're like, okay, this is it, I'm all in 100%, and you've already started that. Tomorrow, you started this morning, but tomorrow you probably shouldn't have tacos, your real tacos. You should probably wait a little while because you have to build the habits before you can get yourself, because sometimes we fall off by eating those tacos, and tacos turn into the flour tortillas, and then they turn into the rice, and then they turn into, tomorrow, I kind of messed up last night, so this morning I think I'm going to go with bacon and eggs, and so it can become this. So when you start a program and you get consistent, you absolutely have the power to do that. But I would say give yourself a good 30 days of really trying before you start to slack.
Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. So everybody that just tuned in, everybody that's listening, I want to remind you that we have health coach Marina Lucero. Look at that. There are social media handles right there. Herbal Life. She about that life, people, I tell you. So we are learning some good stuff tonight about staying healthy, getting healthy. said you're making me hungry. That was something.
Oh man!
All right.
I think that sometimes we definitely have that where we think we starve, and you don't have to starve. You do not starve yourself when you're starving. I mean, if you are, you probably should. I mean, I'm not going to bat anybody's plan, but if you are, you're in the wrong direction. You should never be starving.
Good to know.
For sure. You can also find me on Facebook under Marina and Lucero. That is my biggest platform that I use. And I did bring a couple of tips that helped me along my journey that I would love to share and, love to discuss with you. Okay. And, I think a few things that really helped me is, number one, I had to decide that I was ready, because people can want it for you way more than you want it for yourself. And you're not going to do it unless you're ready. So a big thing that I really tell my clients is say, hey, if you're not ready, then, tell me when you're ready, because you have to want it. And you have to see the bigger picture. And like I said earlier, like getting your body into shape is not the hardest part. It's getting your mind into shape and deciding like, this is what I'm going to do. And, and I'm going to really give this a real shot for myself. And I
Yeah.
think that is definitely at the beginning. And, doing the things when the motivation is gone, because you're not always going to be motivated. And that goes for anything, not just healthy, but like in career and in life. When that feeling of someone motivating you and you're like all pumped goes away, you have to still do the work. And that's where you
Mhm.
start to build a lifestyle. And
Okay.
yeah, another thing about deciding is, have you done this? Tell me if you've done this, because I know I did. I'll start on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait till the first. You
Great.
know what?
Fresh
I'm gonna get
start.
a
Fresh
fresh
start.
start on the first. I'm
Mhm.
gonna start, right? And you're all pumped, and the first comes, and you don't start. Like you don't need,
Mhm.
you don't need a Monday. You don't need a new month. You just gotta decide and start. And I know I was one of them. So girl, I ain't even hating. I know, because that was me. And
Yeah.
so I mean, I think that's just step one in general, is just to decide and don't wait, just do. And because we talk ourselves out of things. How many times do you talk yourself out of things a daily?
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
quite a few
like,
things just today's.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're like, I was gonna start today, but see what happened was,
Right. What had
I was
happened
gonna
was
go to the gym.
the
I was gonna go to the gym, but what happened was, and
right.
so
I
that's just
was
excuse.
busy.
Exactly. I got stuck in traffic for those 45 minutes. I still found time to get caught up
Right.
on my show. Don't get me wrong, I caught up on my show. I did not go to the gym today. I mean, for real though. That's reality, is it not? I mean, it just
Yeah.
happens that way.
That's true.
It's so true.
That's
And
true.
number two is getting a deeper connection and finding your why. And this is talked about,
Okay.
your why is talked about in so many things in careers. Again, this can all relate to a lot of different things. But for me in weight loss, finding my why, and for me, it was more than vanity. And I know a lot of people that I help say, like I do have a wedding coming up, or I'm going on vacation with my family to here, and I want to look good in the swimsuit. And that's a great start, because it builds a goal. And you and I had this a little bit of conversation before we came on, is that we have to dig just a little bit deeper, because once we hit that small goal, then we give up on our lifestyle. And that's not a lifestyle, that's a diet. And so something deeper for me, it's because I wanted to be here for my kids, and I wanted to be here for my grandkids. And whether you have health issues right now or not, to live that little bit of extra for your family, like they deserve the best version of you. You deserve the best version of you. And
Yeah.
those are your whys. And so you have to dig deep and connect with that, because that's what you're going to think about every time you want to give up. Every time you want to say, you know what, not today. Today, I can't today, because there is days like that. And I have days like that. But then I think of my why, my why. And my why is bigger than any obstacle. My why is bigger than any I'm running late and not today, or I don't feel like it today. And that's what you have to connect with, because you will look back on that, and it'll give you that motivation that you're missing on at that particular time.
So, how did you remind yourself of that why when you're face to face with your challenges?
Yeah, sticky notes, diary. I have not really a diary, more of a journal. I used to have a
Okay.
hard time sleeping at night, and I don't know if anybody's anything like me, but like 80 million things run through your head when you lay down, and you're like, all this stuff is going through your head. So I listened to this audio, and they talked about. It's a personal development audio, and they talked about writing all those things down, so that way it's in there and it's done for tomorrow, and you let that go. But every time I did that, so writing solidifies things for me. And so when I'm having those difficult moments, there's a sticky note in my car, there's a sticky note on my desk, there's, there's, on my phone, there's, a quote on my phone, that your why is bigger than any obstacle. And just reminding myself, and like I said, writing it down solidifies a lot of things. I'm a writer. I'm really not, too much of putting everything, but you can just type it in your phone, like when this is why I'm doing this, and go back to that. But like I said, it has to be
Yeah,
deep. It has to be a connection for you, not my connection, and not what I think you should be, but what should it be for Asia?
that's a
You
good
know,
point. I journal as well. I do a lot of journaling. I got journals throughout
good,
the house, so I can
good.
definitely do a lot of that. Doing that more. So let me ask you. I'm I know from speaking to you that working out is a part of your lifestyle right now.
Yeah.
Um, how did you function through the whole beginning of the pandemic, stay home kind of situation? How were you able to stay on task?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's so many free things on YouTube. There's so many people offering free Zumba classes on Facebook, on Instagram. There's so many things you could tune into. And what I like about Zoom is that you can turn off your camera and people don't have to see you. So if you feel like, hey, my house is a little small, or I got kids running around, or whatever the case, but there's so much at your fingertips, and it's about losing those excuses and finding it. Our actual our group hosts workouts 3 days a week, six total of six workouts, morning and night, on Zoom. That is open to anyone in our community, and we open that up. But that's where I connected, and it was about having a connection with people for me during the whole pandemic, and getting into groups where like-minded people that also have goals, because not everybody's going to have the same journey. You may not want to lose 150 pounds, but you're like-minded to say, I have some goals, some health goals, and finding those groups and joining those people. And that's where we stayed motivated. Our team has we have a chat on Telegram for anyone that's on our program, and we stay connected in there, and we push each other every day. And that's what got me through, because we weren't, and still the gyms are open. They just opened here in Denver last week, and I'm not comfortable, but we have those Zoom calls, and it's all at your fingertips. And like I said, even if you don't want to do it with someone, you can log on to a YouTube video, and it's just about doing it. Just deciding, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to turn it on. And whether you do it for your first time, if you're brand new and you do it for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, celebrate that. I mean, celebrate that.
Yeah,
And the next time,
we
try for
watch
5 minutes
YouTube for
more.
everything else.
It's true.
Right.
It's true. And
Hmm.
and it's free, and it's open to you, and you don't have to spend the money to get to that. It's at your fingertips. It's just losing your excuses. That's all. When
Girl, you are speaking. Preach.
and I still struggle, and I depend on my accountability partners too. And that number 3 is just building a plan of action. For me, it was building a plan, because failing to plan is planning to fail. I mean, that's in anything you do. So,
Yeah.
saying on this week, on Monday and Tuesday, I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go for a 15-minute walk, and you put that in your phone. That's where my calendar is, in my phone. And I put it in my calendar, and when it goes off, I am committed to it. And when it's in the calendar, it's a commitment, and that's how I see, like, my kids' doctor's appointments. It's a commitment. And so, building that plan of action, and it's about doing the little things. I mean, I don't want you to start today and try to run 7 miles, because then you, first of all, we're probably not going to finish. And then second of all, you're not going to feel accomplished, because it's just not possible. So
Right.
setting small goals, like I said, walking, I'm going to walk for 10
Mhm.
minutes one day this week, and then cross that, make a goal list. Walk 2 days this week, and when you cross that off, you celebrate that, because you did that. Nobody else did that. You did that. And you pat yourself on the back and say, dang, I did so good, because I got to cross this off my goal list, because I stuck to it. And that's about building a plan, and and challenging yourself a little more each week. I mean, even if it's your step goal. A lot of people 10,000 steps, and but in reality, we start at 2,000, because we're not really big movers, and say, okay, I'm going to start at 2,000. When I hit that, I'm going to move it up 300 steps for the next day, or the next week, whatever that looks like for you. But if you build that plan and stick to it, The small things add up. Everything counts. Everything counts.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when I get into the mood, because that's kind of what we do. We're like, okay, we start ourselves up. I'm about to do this. I'm gonna do this today. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna lose this weight, and then we're like, "Oh, I'm tired. That's too much. Okay, I need a hot dog or something." I'm just,
Can somebody have me a Pepsi somewhere?
like it's ice cream. Hand that
Yeah,
to
but
me.
that is reality. That is reality at the end of the day. And for me, it was about starting early. For me, I wake up earlier to get those things done because I feel more at peace when my kids are still sleeping and I have those moments. So I do my personal development in the morning and I go for a jog in the morning. That's kind of my thing. But it's about, at the end of the day, you can do that and never reach your goal, or you could say no, my why is bigger than that, and today I'm not going to say I'm too tired. I'm going to make it happen today, even if it's for 10 minutes. At least I did it, and start there. And then pretty soon, 10 minutes turns into 20, 20 turns into 30, and just the little things. You only have to start with the little things. You just have to start.
Okay, so for us people that want to start, and we're going to mention this again before the end of the show, how are people able to, what is your favorite way for everybody to communicate with you and reach out to you and say, we need help,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah, Instagram Messenger or Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, any of those of my handles is where I contact most of my clients. Once we actually, get you started on a plan, then it's more text based. And I am a face to face person. I am a hands on people person. That's why quarantine had me like crazy because I am a face to face. So a lot of Zooms and FaceTimes, and I like to get to know you. And I think when you get to know, when you have that faith in your coach and that coach has that faith in you, and you connect more than just what did you eat today or how was your shake, a little more than that, to say, look, how are you today? You know what, coach, I'm struggling this morning. Okay, great. Let me tell you how I can help you. Boom, here, this is what I got for you. Give me your feedback. How, and just connecting. And that's all about, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the next thing on my list is accountability partner. And accountability partners, we do this. How many times have you, like your sister or your best friend or your cousin, and you say, hey, like, we're going to do this and we're going to work out. And then 4 days later, you're like, I don't want to go. And then that person says, I don't want to go either. And then y'all don't go. Right?
I kind of
Right?
did that to
That's
my
not
mom
an
a couple
accountability
times.
partner.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not really feeling it today. Like, okay, love
You take,
you
for real. I mean, that's serious. And so, accountability partner is more like a coach or someone who's going to say no. Um, no, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to get up and we're going to do it together because we promised each other and you promised yourself that you were going to stick to this. And even if we go for 15 or 20 minutes, once we're done, imagine how good we're going to feel. Imagine how
yeah.
accomplished we're going to feel, how much more energy we're going to have, because that's reality. After you work out, I clean my house and everything, because I used to think it was going to wear me out, but really those endorphins
Mhm.
start going and you're ready to do all kinds of stuff. So,
Good point.
and so an accountability partner that you will hold each other accountable and not agree to just skip it, and then you skip the next day and you skip the next day. Someone that's going to really hold you accountable and that you can hold accountable too, and say, hey, you didn't reach out to me today. Like, what's going on? Are we meeting or are we not? That kind of thing.
Right.
And so I think that's super important. And that's really something that I loved about this program in particular, about getting on Herbalife, is because my coach saw it for me before I saw it for myself. And my coach would say,
Okay.
like, can you imagine when you're 40 pounds down? Can you imagine when you're 50 pounds down? And I never saw it like that because I didn't think anything would ever work for me. So
Mhm.
that was accountability partner to me, to say, you know what, you want to give up today? Can you imagine when you're 40 pounds down? Can you imagine how good you're going to feel? And the weight was a bonus. How I feel in the morning, I felt better than I did in my 20s. So being a grandma of 8, like grandma is how I feel, because that's, it's, the weight is a bonus. And how, the clothes I wear is a bonus, girl. How I feel in the morning, that's where it really starts. And
Excellent.
to answer that question, what happened for the first time you almost quit? My coach. And the first time I almost quit is when the scale didn't move. 3 weeks, the scale didn't move.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything right. And I was like, maybe this just ain't for me. And and she said, I want you to just pull out a pair of jeans out of your closet, and I want you to try them on. I want you to take your picture, because we always take pictures when we first start, before pictures. She said, I want you to take a picture, even though the scale hasn't moved. And when I put those two together, and the non-scale victory showed up, that's when I saw the inches were gone. But you see yourself every day, and you see the scale, but you got to celebrate those non-scale victories. And that's something that's easy to forget, because when I put those two pictures together and I saw that my spring roll was kind of moving away, I was like, wait a minute, maybe maybe the scale hasn't moved, but the inches are going. That spring roll, you know, it's really going. And for someone to say, hey, wait a minute, like, don't give up on yourself. Look at how far you've come. And that's not easy to do for yourself. And that's why it's hard
Right.
to even start something like this. But if you can find somebody that will put that and breathe that life into you, to say it's possible, and to care
Yeah.
more about you as an individual, than just to care to say, hey, I want you to pay me some money. That is a big thing for me. That connection was huge for me. And that's what kept me going. And it took me a little bit, and I was stubborn. I was like, I don't need to take no after pictures. The scale ain't moved. Like, what am I gonna take out? That was me. I ain't taking no after picture. I know the scale ain't moved. Like, I know what, I'm just gonna be
I
depressed
know
when
what's
I
up
see the
already.
picture. I'm just gonna cry. but I did it, and it was, she was right. And so non-scale victories and celebrating everything is so important, because you have to give yourself credit. And I'm gonna tell you, as parents, as sisters, brothers, friends, we uplift our friends and our family and our kids every day, and we say, oh, I'm so proud of you. But how many times do you do that for yourself? How many times do you say, you know what, I'm proud of myself today, like I really did that? And
Yeah.
we're so busy giving, and sometimes you have to give for yourself, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't.
That is the truth.
Yeah, for real. What is that?
So describe the person that was hardest for you to help. You have any difficult customers?
um I think, honestly, I don't have one that stands out to me, because everybody has their own obstacles. And you have people that start, because I know the mindset, that start and believe it's already not going to work, believe that they can't do it for themselves. You have people that do say, you know what, it was a great 30 days, and I know I lost 13 pounds. This really just happened to me. I lost 13 pounds, but I just don't want, it's just not for me. And for me,
Mm.
that just says they're not ready. And that's okay. Because no matter how bad I want it for you, you have to want it for yourself. And I think that everybody has their own obstacles. And I don't say that there was one specific person that was more difficult than the other, because everybody goes through things differently, just like in life. And I see them as learning points, to say, what can I pull from this person to help me be a better coach? And what can I, and I say, like, no matter what avenue you decide to do this, to get healthy, I'm going to be cheering you on regardless. I'm going to check on you, and I'm going to text you and say, hey, are you what are you doing? Are you doing anything? Like, how, what's your newest result? Because I want to be a cheerleader. And I just really love to see people do something for themselves that changes their life. And it's not about, this is what worked for me, and this is what I help people do. But
Yeah,
everybody's struggle
good
is
point.
different.
Do you feel like you improving your physical health has improved like your mental health and emotional health as well?
That's a great question. definitely, I think at first, I started to see things in a different light, and I think some of that started with the whole medical thing that happened. Um, because I think anytime something like that hits you, then you start to evaluate things that happen in your life. But I'm going to tell you something about Herbalife that has really changed for me is that when they train their coaches, personal development is one of the biggest things, and they say the hardest thing is changing yourself and your mind. And so, I dedicate to my first 15 to 30 minutes every morning to listening to something. It could be Jim Rohn, it could be, Les Brown. There's a lot of books that I read, um, and that's just to get my mindset right to start the day. But it also leads into how you speak and how you treat people and how you love people and how you reciprocate their love. Like it completely changes everything for you. So I say yes, definitely, because you start to see things different. I can tell you one of the biggest things I think for me is that I used to, when I first started, I couldn't really run. I couldn't do a jumping jack um, because I was so
Wow.
big and I was very embarrassed. And my mindset at the time is I'm going to walk into this gym and all these healthy people are going to stare at me and say, I'm the big girl that's coming in, or, whatever. And
Mm.
after the first couple of months, I was finally comfortable to start working out because I did not work out for the first 2 months on the program. And then I was like, dang, look at all these people looking at me because of my fly workout outfit. I had a different mindset. Like they're not staring at me because I'm almost 300 pounds. They're looking at my fly outfit. I just went, yes, girl. Yeah. I was like, oh, you see that? I know. And I started to change my mindset. And that is one of the biggest things. I wear this all the time. And one of the biggest inspirations in my life. He says, change your mindset, change your life. And you have to think of things different because even within everything that's going on today, you can look at somebody and assume that they're thinking some way. We can look at our parents, our siblings, and assume that they're thinking some way. And it could be negative, but when you change your mindset to say, maybe they're looking at me because they're proud of me. Maybe I need to say, is everything okay, or is there something that you want to say, to open up that line of communication. And that's just a little switch. And I think everything ties together: your mental, your physical, your just love in general. It all goes together, because the better you feel about yourself, the better you're going to treat people and treat yourself.
That's a really good point. So you say, if you don't know how to love yourself, then how can you love anyone else? And it
Absolutely.
starts with yourself, starts with
Yeah.
how you treat yourself. I don't think we think about all of that. The connection between, I guess, between your physical health and your emotional health, we don't always make that tie. And
Hmm.
I think, especially, I know because I've seen the memes, I've seen the posts that people are particularly struggling with the whole
Yeah.
stay at home order. Some people are opening up, but some people, are still forced to stay at home, and it's frankly depressing a bit.
Yeah.
And then you put on pounds. I know I put on pounds myself. Being
Yeah.
transparent, and I'm naturally a small frame. I'm a small person, so it's uncomfortable for me. Makes me unhappy and a little irritable. So yeah, I can definitely see the connection. Um, would you say in your change of lifestyle, because recognizing that you work with Herbal Life, as the question says, is the lifestyle change expensive?
Yeah, that's
Has
a
it
great question.
changed?
That's a great question. Yeah. And no, that's
Mhm.
that's typical. On average, for a basic Herbalife plan, it's about $3 a meal. And when you split that up, $3 a meal, you can get a healthy meal for $3 anywhere. And I think one of the biggest things that we do is we will spend $45 on a palette eyeshadow. We will spend 125 on getting our hair done or getting our hair fixed. We will spend $20 on some new earrings, but then we hesitate when we say, how much does it cost for me to take care of my health? And your body is the only thing you have for the rest of your life. That's reality. And so that's the whole mindset change.
That's a fact. And you think about it like that. Like you stuck with that until you're gone. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And you can take better care of that. Yeah.
And we hesitate to invest, but you got to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself. You know, and there is people that you know, are on a budget, and you know, and all of that, and I could definitely work with all of that, but you have to invest in yourself, because if you don't, who will?
So is that something that you walk through when people ask for you to be their coach? You walk through exactly what it is that they're supposed to order. Does it change in regards to the type of person or their body type, or the cookie cutter kind of situation?
No, nothing is cookie cutter. Herbalife is all individualized meal plans. So it's based off of your goals. So not only do I help people lose weight, because a lot of people, the misconception is people that Herbalife is a weight loss company, and it is not. Herbalife is a nutrition company. And there are people on it that just want it for the vitamins and minerals, and they take it as a nutrition shake every day. You know, we have immune support, we have skin line, we have the muscle gain line. It's called the 24, and it's for building, people who want to shred, people who want to cut, you know, and so it's individualized meal plans, and that's what the difference between going somewhere else and getting with someone who can sit down with you and say, okay, what are your goals? This is what the best plan would be for you. This is the options I have, you know, that you can order. We could start here, or we could start here. How fast you want to get there? You know, and we go through all the steps of taking a before picture, getting your evaluation done. And now that's looked really different for us, but it's been really successful. Herbalife has had its 3 biggest months in 40 years. We've been in business for 40 years. We are in 90 countries. And we have had our 3 biggest months ever in 40 years with this whole pandemic going on. And it's really amazing to me. There's a lot of people that are struggling right now, and businesses are closing. And this business is thriving right now because people are starting to get conscious about your health, because that's what is going on in the world right now. Is you know, the healthier you are, the more likely you're not going to do this, and you know, your immune system, and you're not going to get that. And there's so many things, and it's coming to the forefront. And I really feel like, you know, we've been working we've been working towards this, to say, hey, we are here and we can help for years. And, you know, there's a lot of things that you can do in your lifestyle to change things. But this is what worked for me.
Okay. So, like, recognizing that you assist with that breakdown and helping them make the choices, would you say that it's best for people to have a coach then dealing with Herbal Life, or are people allowed to do it without a coach? Or do you think people are okay to do it without a coach? What is your recommendation?
A coach. You want a coach. And one of the biggest things we say in Herbalife is you want a coach that's active. Someone that you see is on the products, you know, doing the classes, and that are really in action. And there is a lot of ways to get Herbalife, but if you do it without a coach, you're probably going to do it. You're not going to know how to take the products, and you're not going to know, you know, what's the best way to be set up for success. And having a coach is like that accountability partner, and they're going to provide that so much more than just walking into a store and picking something off the shelf and reading the label and going home. Because if that worked, we would all be doing it, and it doesn't work, you know, in all cases. So that's what I would suggest. And you know, and I do see, I missed the last question, but you can definitely reach out to me anytime you want to, even if you just want to, describe it. There it is. Describe a $3 meal. A $3 meal is a shake with protein. It's 24 grams of protein. The shake has vitamins, minerals, and then a tea. The tea boosts your metabolism, gives you energy, and aloe. And the aloe is a digestive support. So it helps support your digestive tract. So that is what's considered a meal.
Okay. And I want you guys to know, this may sound like a bit of an Herbal Life commercial right now, but I want you guys to know I asked Marina to be on the show because I saw the progress. I didn't even know she was doing Herbal Life. I was just like, wow. I saw the progress. I saw how much weight she lost. She looked healthy and happy. And I'm just like, how do I get on that track? I am totally interested in what she's doing. And it just so happens to be that this is a part of what she's doing. And it's amazing because, the part that I was talking about when I lost the weight for the wedding, I was using Herbal Life because my sister-in-law, she's a representative with them. And so she coached me through as well, and it was being that support and sent me some workout materials and guided me and said, okay, how are you doing, let me see your she encouraged me to measure my progress. I'm gonna tell you, for a couple of weeks I was just like, I don't want to measure anymore, thank you. I this is good for my health. I didn't want to measure anything, but I noticed, as I wore my clothes, that I started to fit in them differently, and it felt good. It looked good. So I took my little picture, and I was like, look. And then I did my measurement, and I said, look, I went down 3 inches. Hey, you know, and she posted the congratulations for me, and that was so encouraging. So I get the coaching part is really important. Is really important. There's another question for you. So was it hard helping family?
You know what? I think in anything you do, your family is sometimes the last to jump on board. Mine was a little bit different. Once I started getting the results, my circle of influence, that's what we call it, or my circle of influence, my mom, my dad, my brother Isaac, my brother Randy, my brother and my sister Amanda. My mom lost 40 pounds. My dad lost 45 pounds. My brother Randy lost 60 pounds. My brother Isaac lost 50 pounds. And my sister Amanda is down, I think she's down 67 pounds, and she's now an Herbalife coach as well. And I think the hardest part with helping my family, in all honesty, is that the accountability part, because they just really don't want to hear it from you. They're just kind of like, look, I got this, But it worked out pretty well. And what was easy, let's just change that around a little bit. What was easy is we did it together. So we were each other's support system. And I was sharing this the other night when Asia and I had met. And I said, that first 4th of July, we had a healthy 4th of July party, and everybody planned healthy meals. And we cooked completely different because everybody was seeing the health difference. And so, we miss you guys so much too. But it was the difference in how everybody was looking and feeling, and it changed the family dynamic to something different. So yeah, I can, like anything else, it can have its ups and downs, because sometimes they don't want to hear the hard stuff, or you don't want them to quit on you. You're like that invested, where you're like, just don't quit on me. Just, I know you can do it. Don't give up on yourself so much more. But it can also be that great light for your family to say, we're doing this together, and we're all in, everybody's all in. And that was so inspiring and empowering for me. My daughter's actually, and it's been 5 years, and my daughter's actually just recently started the plan. Brianna is down. My 20-year-old daughter is down 17 pounds now. And I use her before and after on Facebook a lot because it was just 21 days difference. Wow. Yeah. And if you can put up that little disclosure.
Difference for 17 pounds?
Yeah. And my daughter Jasmine is down 12 pounds, and we just got done with our 21-day challenge. And I personally, like with the quarantine, I had put on a couple of pounds. I'm down 11 with this 21-day challenge. So I am always striving to be better as well. And I'm not content with where I am. I've come a long way, and I'm very proud of myself, but I want to be better. And so I do it together with my clients and with my team. And, we do it together. I'm really excited.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh, all of those numbers you mentioned. I'm just like, I think I'm still
Yeah.
stunned.
Yeah.
I'm just I wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy if I lose 5 pounds, but those numbers, my gosh. And
Yeah,
you guys take
definitely.
before and after photos of her. Like, do you see how amazing? Can you say amazing? Oh
Thank you
my
so much.
goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm ready. I want to get healthy too. I want to get on the bandwagon too. I know I said we do this, right? We get pumped and then we're like, So I guess I need
That's
to
so what we're gonna
guess I
do,
need
the reminder
to
is what we're gonna do when the motivation part goes away. And I know we're about to wrap up, but my last thing that I really want to leave everybody with is that you have to remember that this is not a race. This is a journey. And we didn't get where we are overnight. Like we did not pack on the pounds or get feeling like you're tired all the time. That didn't happen overnight. This is something that we built, and it's going to be the same in your journey. And so, it's a lifestyle, and it's a journey. And we, like I said, there's no magic pill, there's no magic dust I'm going to throw at you. It doesn't work that way. It does require a little bit of work, but if you're willing to put in that work, and you're willing to make that change, can you imagine where you're going to be a month from now, 15 days from now, 60 days from now, and just how you feel? Everything else is a bonus.
That is excellent. Can you please remind everybody how to get a hold of you, ma'am?
Yeah, absolutely. So my Facebook is Marina and Lucero. You can find me on Snapchat at FitMarina7, or on Instagram at FitMarina. I am always in my messages. And I would love to speak with you. Any kind of questions I can answer for you. She just put them up, and anything that I can do for you, if you just need a little inspiration, or you want to start a plan, contact me, and I would love to have a conversation with you and go from there. And it's just really an honor to be able to share everything tonight and have some fun. I really had a great time.
Me too. This was great. This is really exciting. So I guess since everybody has heard me now, people are gonna be like, "So did you actually do that? Did you? How's that working out for you?"
That's accountability.
Might be now. So so hopefully other listeners are hearing this and right challenge. I'm saying.
There you go, chat. See? Yeah, we have an awesome 21-day challenge coming up in July. If you're interested in just, there's a cash prize, and we're really excited. If anyone's interested in doing that, I can give you the details. But someone may, I mean, I think you're going to have a lot of accountability partners, Asia.
Right? Me and my big mouth. No, but this is good. This is
Now, this is good. This is good.
This is good. I'm so happy that you decided to take the time to talk to us and let us know about your story. It is wonderful. For those of you that missed the beginning of her story, please go back and watch and listen. It is amazing. The progress I've seen is amazing. What you've done with your family is super amazing. It's one thing to put your cell phone out there like that, but to bring your family along, that's power. So one step at a time. Let's see if I can bring my family along on the journey too. Get me started first. All right, you guys. So you've seen how to get a hold of her, and you guys, I have the show every single Friday night. And I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. So you have no excuses. I know you're
None at
on
all.
one or the other. So 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, this is health coach Marina Lucero. Love you guys. Good
Have a great
night.
night.
Till next time. Have a good